Welcome to Ancient Stoic Secrets, the space where men stop chasing noise and start reclaiming peace. Let me ask you, have you ever sat there, staring at your phone, hoping she'd text back? Nothing came, no apology, no closure, just silence. But here's the twist. What if that silence wasn't her ending, but your beginning? This video isn't about getting her back. It's about something far deeper, reclaiming the man you were before you needed her to define you. If you're done chasing, done performing, done begging to be seen, subscribe. Let's begin the path back to yourself. Part 1. The echo that changed everything. She thought you'd react. Like her post, send a message, show her she still had a hold. But this time, there was nothing. No double tap, no DM, no emoji. And that silence. It was louder than any argument. At first, she shrugged it off. Maybe you're busy. Maybe you're giving her space. But then, days passed. Weeks. And slowly, that quiet started to feel like absence. Not a pause, a disappearance. She kept checking. Still nothing. You weren't trying to make a point. You simply stopped showing up. In that unexpected stillness. That's when the shift began. Not in her, in you. Part 2. Peace over performance. You used to fight for attention. You used to explain yourself, text novels at midnight, hoping she'd understand your heart. But now, nothing. Not because you stopped caring, but because you started choosing peace over performance. You didn't make a scene. You didn't need closure. You just stepped back. And that silence wasn't a punishment, it was self-respect. She waited for the usual, your reaction, your reach, your rescue. But this time, you gave her stillness, not out of pride, but because you were done rehearsing emotions she never respected. That's not apathy. That's power, the kind that comes when you finally let go. Part 3. Real detachment isn't loud. Real detachment isn't slamming the door or deleting her photos. It's quieter than that. It's the peace that shows up when you no longer need to be heard to feel seen. You didn't block her. You didn't post breakup quotes or cryptic captions. You just disconnected. No drama, no monologue. You stopped replying. Not to get a reaction, but because the conversation was over. Not out loud, not declared. Just done. And that kind of detachment. It confuses her because it's not a tactic. It's truth. And truth, when backed by silence, speaks louder than anything she ever said. Part 4. She lost her favorite button. She once knew every emotional button to push. One I miss you, and you'd come alive. One sad story, and you'd start texting again. She knew where you were weakest, and you let her, because you loved her. But now, she sends a memory, posts a song. Still silence. Nothing works, because the man she controlled, no longer exists. You didn't cut her off to be cruel. You simply stopped being reachable. And that scares her more than any fight ever did, because she didn't lose your attention. She lost your access. And access, once revoked by peace, can't be manipulated. Part 5. Quiet transformation, not public breakdown. You used to broadcast your pain. Sad quotes, long captions, hoping she'd notice the weight in your words. But now, your healing is silent. Not fake, just sacred. You didn't become cold. You became calm. You stopped performing heartbreak. You started building yourself in private. The gym, new goals, better habits. She hears it through friends. He's glowing, they say. Not because of someone new, but because you remembered who you were before you needed her attention. She can't like a post to reclaim you because you're not signaling pain anymore. You're radiating peace, and peace doesn't beg to be seen. Part 6. She watches, but can't touch. She doesn't comment, doesn't message, but trust me, she's watching. In the quiet hours, scrolling through your stories, checking your smile. She looks for cracks, signs that you're faking it. But you're not, you're steady, clear, and that unsettles her. You didn't replace her with another woman. You replaced her with your purpose. You're not posting for attention anymore. You're posting because you're present. And the part that hurts her most. You're not broken. You're better. Not because she came back, but because you didn't wait, you moved forward. And left the door open for yourself. Part 7. The storm inside her stillness. To everyone else, she looks fine, smiling, social, strong. But behind that curated calm is a question she can't shake. What if I was wrong about him? Because your silence isn't confusion anymore. It's clarity. You used to orbit her. Now she's outside your world, uninvited. She never imagined you'd stop chasing. Yet here you are, grounded, unshakable. And that's the storm. Not in your heart, but in hers. Not because she misses you, but because she can't affect you. The emotional puppet strings cut you're no longer hers to pull. And in that stillness, she finally feels your absence. Part 8. She doesn't recognize this you. You used to respond instantly. Jump at every message. Now you think, you wait, or you don't respond at all. Not to hurt her, but because her words no longer hold you. You're not angry, you're just done explaining. And she doesn't recognize this man.com. Focused, detached. She thought silence meant you were still playing the game. But now she sees you're not playing at all. You're living. no longer defining yourself by her attention. You stopped needing to be chosen. And in doing so, you chose yourself. That man, he's not bitter, he's reborn, and he doesn't chase what forgets his worth. Part 9. Your peace speaks louder than her games. She expected a show. She expected you to fall apart, to post sad songs, to try and make her miss you. But you didn't. You got quiet. You got focused, and that scared her more than anything else. She heard from friends. You're building a business, hitting the gym, meeting new people, not rebounding, rebuilding. She thought you needed her to find yourself, but it turns out she was the distraction. You didn't level up to make her jealous. You did it because you remembered what it felt like to be proud of yourself. She didn't lose you. She lost her version of control. Part 10. You didn't leave, you returned to yourself. You didn't walk away to prove a point. You walked away because you finally understood the lesson. You can love someone deeply and still choose yourself. Your silence wasn't a weapon, it was a boundary. One she never believed you'd set, but you did. You didn't become distant out of spite. You became clear out of wisdom. No longer performing love to be noticed. No longer breaking yourself to stay close. This isn't revenge. It's resurrection. You didn't lose her. You found you. And in that discovery, you became the man she never thought you'd become. Because now, you're free. The Brotherhood of Stillness. If this message resonated with you, drop A in the comments or type Unstoppable. We're not just building a channel here, we're building a movement. For men who choose peace over pain, clarity over chaos, self-respect over validation. Subscribe if you're ready to rise quietly. With purpose, let her watch. Let her wonder. Let your stillness say everything that words never could. Because you're not chasing anymore, you're leading. And your silence. That's not absence, that's power. Welcome to Ancient Stoic Secrets. And remember, you're not forgotten, you're becoming unforgettable.